the channel. My name is Eric Aroca. So this channel is all about helping you to build winning cultures that last and improving our personal leadership. So this week, we're going to talk a little bit about the 3 things you need to do to improve your personal leadership. In 1977, my family migrated from Chile. For those of you who are geographically challenged, that's in South America on the Pacific side. As a 9-year-old kid, I instantly thought we were going to become millionaires. That would have been pretty awesome. Did not happen. But I remember going to school. We moved here in November, so school's going on. Since school was in, my parents thought, you guys need to go to school. And I remember begging my dad, please don't make me go to school. Don't make me do this. I don't speak English. I'm not going to understand anything that they're doing or saying to me. Please, I would just beg him, please, please, please don't make me go to school. And he agreed. I was like, yes, I won. I was so excited. I was super pumped. I did not have to go to school. Only to be woken up very early the next morning and told to get up, get dressed, go downstairs to have breakfast. You guessed it, because I was going to school. I remember sitting outside the office just crying because I had so much anxiety, just so much anxiety built up about having to go to school, and I didn't have any friends, and I couldn't speak the language, and I didn't know anything. This was a totally different culture than what I was used to. I mean, night and day different. And I can't even express to you guys how much anxiety I had. So I walk into my classroom, my teacher tells me to go sit down, I go sit down, and I just basically sat like this every day. It was so frustrating. I've never felt so alone in my life. I felt so alone. I honestly can't even find the words to express to you how I felt and how alone I was in this time of my life. If that's not bad enough, around midday, you get to go to lunch. And I didn't know what to expect, but they had these weird trays with the little compartments in it. And I grabbed my tray. I just kind of followed what everybody else was doing and grabbed my tray. And then as I made my way down the line, I started putting some food on my tray. I know it was green, and I know it was supposed to be green beans, but I can't be honest and tell you that it was green beans because I really don't know if it was green beans or not. It kind of looked like it, though. And mashed potatoes, and there was this yellow, watery substance over the mashed potatoes, known to us Americans as chicken gravy. I found it totally disgusting. So lunch was not making my days any better because the food was so gross. However, I did discover that there were 2 things at lunchtime that I looked forward to every single day. The first thing that I looked forward to at lunchtime, chocolate milk. I discovered chocolate milk for the first time as a 9-year-old. In Chile, we didn't have chocolate milk. But in America, we did. That's why it's the greatest greatest nation on the earth. Chocolate milk. Life changer. The second thing that I discovered at lunchtime was the pink sugar cookie. This is the closest This is the closest cookie that I've been able to find to those old school pink sugar cookies that they used to give us in elementary school. It was about this size too. So good. There are some simple instructions when you're opening up one of these little cartons of milk. And it's right there. It says to open with a little arrow pointing in the way to open. you all know that if you open the opposite end, you don't get the same result. You get a hole in there and then you're drinking it and it just becomes messy. It doesn't work. Well, for a few days, I was opening my milk on the wrong end. Who knew? I watched the kids open their milk every day. I thought I was doing it right. And it took me a little while to figure out what the little arrow was. I'm a slow learner, what can I tell you? Awesome combination. Whoever came up with that deserves a raise, deserves a plaque, a statue. I don't know. But, oh my gosh. Life changers. Kids would come over to my table because they quickly figured out they could get an extra chocolate milk and an extra sugar cookie. Because they would come to my table and they would point at my chocolate milk or my sugar cookie, and they would obviously ask me something. Now, today I know what they were asking. They were asking, are you going to eat that? And my answer was, in my head thinking, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what you're saying. I don't understand what you're saying. Why are you talking to me? Whatever. This motion means no. So they would pick up my sugar cookie, pick up my milk, and walk off to wherever they were sitting in the lunchroom. This happened for over a week. So then I got smart and I started just leaning over my food like this, eating my lunch, covering and protecting my milk and my sugar cookie. Because I didn't want them to get eaten. There's the only things that I liked about my day. And there was this kid. His name is Jonathan Boone, and Jonathan did not look like me. He was so fair complected that he had freckles. He had light eyes. He had blonde hair, and he didn't look like anyone I had ever seen before. And so he comes into class and he comes over and he sits right next to me in class. And he's just a chatterbox. He is just talking up a storm. I don't understand a thing he's saying. The whole time I'm just like, no comprendo, no hablo inglés, right? At lunch, though, I did appreciate Jonathan because at lunch, when those kids would come over and want to take my sugar cookie and my chocolate milk, Jonathan would send them on their way. And I quickly learned that Jonathan was being my friend. We couldn't communicate, but yet we communicated. Does that make any sense? Like, we didn't speak the same language, but we spoke the language of friendship. We became really close friends for about a year. And then I moved to a different city. And I didn't see Jonathan again until junior high. I believe about the 7th grade or 8th grade years when I kind of caught up with Jonathan again. But Jonathan scared the crap out of me. My dog walked over. Jonathan was a great friend. There are 3 things I believe we need to do to improve our personal leadership. We talked a little bit about a few videos ago about leadership not being about you, but that it starts with you. This is what I mean. Personal leadership starts with the individual. It starts with you. And there are 3 things that I've identified that I believe we need to do more in order to improve our overall leadership, but definitely our personal leadership. The first thing that I believe we need to do is care. We need to care about other people. Jonathan took the time to care about me. He cared enough about me that he wanted to be my friend. He cared enough about me that he didn't want me to eat lunch by myself. He didn't want my sugar cookie and chocolate milk to get stolen every day at lunchtime. He cared about the individual. He cared about me. It wasn't about what was in it for him. He just cared about me. And I think in our lives in general, we need to start caring more about other people, about our coworkers, about our family, about our friends, about our neighbors, about the communities we live in. We need to care more. People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. I think that old adage is very true. So let's care more about the individual and forget about yourself. Just care about other people. The second thing I believe you need to do to improve your personal leadership is to know people. Not just know about them, I want you to think for a moment about all the people that you know in your life. Maybe about the people you go to school with, about your family members, about friends, about your neighbors, about your colleagues, co-workers, people at your church, people at the supermarket, wherever you run into people. Think about how well do you know them? Do you know them or do you just know about them? Because there is a distinct difference between knowing someone and knowing of them. We know of people all the time. We know what kind of cars they drive. We know what drink they like. We know what their favorite dessert might be or their favorite color is. That's what we know of them. But do we truly know them? You see, to know someone, you'd find out what their greatest fears are. You would find out what is it that motivates them. You would find out what their greatest dreams, what their aspirations are. That's truly getting to know someone. Jonathan took the time to get to know me. He discovered through our sign language communication that we had going on that I loved to play soccer. I'm a kid from South America. I don't know American football. I don't know basketball. Those things weren't readily accessible to us in a different country, and especially in South America. You go in South America today, you go to Chile today, you can watch the NFL, you can watch the NBA on TV. Those things did not exist when I was a kid in my home country. So he got to know me. He took an interest. He got to know the person. The number 3 thing that we need to do to help build our personal leadership is to serve one another. Go out and serve people. Just lose yourself in the service of other people. And I am not saying that you need to be serving people 24/7, because then you don't have time for yourself, you don't have time for your job, you don't have time for the things that matter in your life. But I do want you to be more aware of opportunities that come to you every day where you can serve other people. Because I think that when you start serving other people, you start feeling better about yourself. You forget about your problems because you're so busy helping and serving other people. Jonathan served me. He served me by protecting the coveted pink sugar cookie and my chocolate milk. He served me by helping me to learn basic English. So when I approached him, I could say hello. I could say hi. I could say goodbye. Jonathan took the time to serve me. He took the time to get to know me. He took the time to care about me. And he definitely took the time to serve me. I am so grateful for Jonathan Boone. What an incredible example Jonathan has been in my life as the type of leader that I want to be. Because I know that if we care and if we truly get to know people and we serve them, we can become great leaders. So to you, Jonathan, I say thank you, bro. Thumbs up, all that good stuff. You're an incredible man. That's all we have time for today. And so make sure you give me one of these. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. And I will see you guys back next week. Take care.